Hi everyone, welcome to this session where we will discuss about how to prepare for the SNAP examination. Now moving from CAT to SNAP is something which is quite the opposite experience, because after the level of complexity and difficulty of CAT, moving into SNAP, preparing for that and taking the exam is extremely easy. It is the easiest of all the major MBA entrance examinations. Of course, there's an exam called MAT, which is the easiest, but then we don't count MAT among the major MBA entrance exams. So SNAP is a 1 hour exam, level of difficulty very easy. The questions are a breeze. Everybody would end up doing a large number of questions at the end of 1 hour. There is no sectional time limit and no sectional cutoffs. So here the overall score matters. 1 mark for each correct answer, 1/4 negative mark. So we're talking about 60 minutes, 60 questions, and the focus is on trying to maximize the number of questions that we do, and of course maximize our scores. Do the questions fast. I mean, speed is the essence for this particular exam, because I told you that the exam is very easy, so everybody would find it easy. So here again, relative performance matters, because if you're looking, for example, at the best institute under the SNAP examination, which is SIBM Pune, then we're looking at somewhere definitely about 98 percentile as the cutoff for an interview call. 98.5 would be more of a good ballpark figure. And in terms of marks, here the exam has got 60 questions, so 60 marks, 1 mark per question. 1/4 negative marks. So if you're looking at SIBM Pune, something upward of 40 marks would be the target, and it again depends on the level of difficulty of the exam. But if you go according to the last 2 years SNAP examination, then we're looking at something around 42, 43, 45 would be a very comfortable score for a call if the paper this year also remains the same in terms of level of difficulty. So let us now discuss the various sections under the SNAP examination. I told you no sectional time limit, no sectional cutoff. So let us look at the areas to focus on. We will go into individual areas and the topics to focus on and how to prepare for the SNAP examination. Now, coming to the structure of the SNAP examination, broadly 3 areas. Let us start with verbal ability, where we have 15 questions. Most of the questions are from general English, like grammar, fill in the blanks, then idioms, tenses, and all that. A few questions from verbal reasoning, which are essentially questions like parajumbles. But again, the level of difficulty is extremely easy as compared to the parajumbles which come in CAT. Hardly any questions in reading comprehension, maybe 1 or 2, and the questions are pretty straightforward. In the last couple of years, the questions have been in the form of poems. So 15 questions, and here we don't take much time to do these questions, because as I said before, either we know it or we don't know it, so the reaction time is very quick. So the idea would be to go into verbal ability, finish that off, and then go into the other areas. The next section is analytical and logical reasoning, 25 questions. And then we have 20 questions, which are essentially from quantitative ability. Although the section is quantitative, then data interpretation, data sufficiency, there are hardly any questions from data interpretation, maybe 1 or 2, and questions in data sufficiency have been absent in the last couple of years. So totally we have 60 questions in this 1 hour examination, 60 marks with a negative marking of 1/4. Now let us look at verbal ability in a bit more detail, wherein, as I said, reading comprehension essentially in the form of poems, and then verbal ability questions, majority of them are grammar based. There are a lot of questions from fill in the blanks, and then the remaining questions out of the 15 are spread across different areas, in sense like we have a couple of questions maybe from parajumbles, and then active passive voice, and then idioms, and then synonyms, antonyms, and all that. So essentially a lot of areas in verbal ability are covered. There's nothing new for you. All these things have already been covered in your CAT preparation. Ideally, this is the first section that you should take up in the SNAP examination, wherein you spend around 10 minutes, again depending on your level of comfort in verbal ability and your speed. and try and look at all the questions and maximize your score, and then go on to reasoning, where there are quite a few topics which I'm sure you are not prepared while doing your CAT preparation. There are areas, in addition to critical reasoning, there are areas like statement assumption, statement conclusion, course of action, cause and effect, strong and weak arguments. Very simple areas, very, very easy to understand and work out the questions. No alarms at all, but then there has to be some preparation done there. And also there are a few other areas which you may have not touched upon during your CAT preparation. Simple areas like number and letter series and coding, decoding, Ottman out. Probably an area like calendars. And then moving on to further topics, areas like, for example, input, output. So these are some add-on work to be done. Some of the other topics like, for example, clocks, blood relations, and then linear circular arrangement, binary logic, syllogisms. I'm sure you would have done your preparation for the CAT examination. So that also helps. And the level of difficulty is very, very easy. In fact, I should not say level of difficulty. I should be saying that the question levels are so easy. I should not be using the word difficulty. So when you're looking at linear and circular arrangement, for example, very, very easy questions. So blood relations, again, very straightforward questions. So again, this is a scoring area. This is probably the make or break in your SNAP examination, because maximum scoring opportunities come up in reasoning section. So prepare very well, totally 25 questions. So very easy to do this section. There would be speed breaker questions in between, so don't get stuck in them. So if you find that a question is taking time, let us say more than a minute, then dump it and move on to the next question, because you're trying to finish maximum questions in the given 1 hour. Now moving on to quantitative ability, wide range of topics are there, but all these topics you have covered in your CAT examination, and the level of questions are very, very easy. No comparison with CAT at all. So questions can be thrashed very quickly. You have a lot of questions in arithmetic, and then you have the questions in numbers and geometry, mensuration, and then a lot of areas in algebra and modern math also is there. An odd question has been asked in data interpretation during the last couple of years. And then a few questions which are reasoning questions, that is directions, number series, coding and decoding, have also made their appearance along with quantitative questions. Again, level of difficulty, as I keep saying, very easy. So keep moving, don't get stuck in a particular question. 20 questions and also keep moving. That is the mantra in SNAP. So speed really matters. So how do we prepare for the SNAP examination? First, prepare on those topics which were not part of your CAT preparation, particularly areas in reasoning like your statement assumptions, conclusion, cause and effect, strong and weak arguments, number, letter series, and all that. So prepare on all those areas which you have not worked on so far. Take a lot of SNAP exams. That is the best way to prepare for SNAP. So take 2 SNAP exams, 2 SNAP mocks first, and then sit down and analyze your test taking. Why did I say test taking? Because that is where you try and maximize your performance in SNAP. You'll find the level of the exam very easy. You will find that you have done a large number of questions. You will also find that you could have done more questions with the skills that you have. So the issue now is why you could not do more questions in the given 1 hour. So what prevented you from doing that? How do you squeeze in a few more questions? How was your test taking? How did you take the test in the given 1 hour? Were there speed breakers? Were there type of questions which pinned you down and made you spend more time than what was required in that particular question? Are there questions where you have to go back and prepare on? If you need to do that, go back and prepare on those type of questions. If you feel that you're not comfortable with those type of questions, then those are the kind of questions which are best avoided. So those are questions which are well left, and you know how to avoid those kind of speed breaker kind of questions and focus on questions which you can do much faster. So with that learning from the first couple of mocks, you do your thinking, and then you go and take the next 2 mocks, do an evaluation again. It is not that, you take a mock and then say that, okay, I've done so many questions, that is enough. That is not the way it is. Or just say that, okay, next exam I'm going to do better. Analyze what you have done in that particular exam. Even if you have done extremely well, again, the issue is, can you squeeze in something more? Okay, if you have not done enough, because if you're looking at, as I said, SIBM Pune, you're looking at something around 42 to 45 as a potential cutoff. You're looking at SCM HRD somewhere around 38 to 40. So if you haven't reached that kind of benchmark, then look at what held you back. Think about it. Think about how you will better your performance in the next mock that you take. Take the next couple of mocks and see how it goes, and then evaluate again, and then repeat the process. So that is how you're going to better your performance each time you take a mock, with the goal of looking at the best institutes under the SNAP bandwagon. So you will be then able to put in your best performance in the SNAP examination. You should take ample number of mocks and be comfortable. Some students make the mistake of thinking that, okay, let me take the first SNAP exam. We all know that we can take SNAP twice and the best score is taken. So let me take one SNAP exam under real-time conditions, and then based on the learning, I'll try and better my performance in the next examination. You don't have time to do that. So do that using the SNAP mocks. Your first SNAP examination itself, you should put in your best performance. You should not wait for a second chance. Okay. So prepare very well for the exam. Focus a lot on your test taking. The level of easiness should not bring in any sense of complacency. That is why I mentioned some ballpark figures for you to target, keeping SIBM Pune and SCM HRD in mind, because while doing the exam, you'll feel that you have done enough. So is that enough for getting a call from these top two institutes under SNAP? This is the question. So that is the target that you have. So prepare keeping some of those targets in mind and put in effort, and you will do very well in the SNAP examination. Best wishes.